Alright guys, we're going to talk today about a 2001 F-250 7.3. And before I get started, I just want to say that any of the names that I mention about products that I've used or anything, I don't endorse anybody. Also, any of this work, if you do it yourself, it's at your own risk. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, here is the truck. It's got some rust. I actually bought this truck for $2,000. It's got 300,000 miles on it, or just about. The truck was completely ragged out. The interior was shot. The bed is all messed up. But I've put a lot of time and a lot of money in this thing, and she's a dream now. I did put 4-inch turbo back exhaust. It's MBRP. Those are aftermarket mirrors. It's 2008, I believe, maybe 2007 mirrors. Also 2007 headlights and grill. All this stuff I got off of eBay. Motor wise, I've done quite a bit. I haven't touched anything internally, no injectors, nothing like that. I've done new BANDJO bolts, which are, you can't really see them, but they're down there. It increases the fuel to get into the heads. We got an AFE, that's called a Blade Runner intake, or spider, whatever you want to call it. It replaces the factory. They say it flows 15% better than stock, but it's not why I changed it. I changed it because of I did a 38R housing. It's not the full 38R, so I still have my stock exhaust housing back there. The exhaust housing is still stock, so that's the 0.89, I believe. But this is the 38R housing and back plate, so this is the increased sized turbo wheel, so it's quite a bit larger than stock. I also put a 33 PSI wastegate actuator. It's a billet. I forget the name of it, the brand. I did the exhaust back pressure valve delete. I did the intake heater delete, which is that blue thing right there. That's where my boost gauge is actually tied into. And you can't really see it, but right there, that is the oil crossover. I actually got that from Riff Raff Diesel. Pretty easy. That's most easiest installation I've done. It does have the upgraded high pressure oil pump, which without taking the cover off and all that stuff, you really can't see that. Let's see, what else did I do? I did do the NAPA. I think it's a 6637, I believe. I can't remember the name of it now. But I'll add it and post it, or let you guys know what it is. This here is the Coolant Filtration Kit. This truck does have 300,000 miles on it. I was getting some nasty buildup in my coolant system, so I decided just to throw that on there. This is in, this didn't really even have a name. I do know Sinister Diesel makes one. This one I paid for complete kit was like 88 bucks. The Sinister diesel was like 150 or something like that, and they basically do the same thing. It just doesn't have a pretty stamped in logo. I do recommend to everybody, make sure that your radiator cap is holding pressure. A lot of times guys have problems, and it's just because their caps aren't holding pressure any longer. It's like a $5 part, easy to change. I do recommend that. Let's see, what else have I done? I've had to do a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't have to do. I had to change my wastegate solenoid. It was burnt up. The guy before me just really took a bad care of this vehicle, and I mean, 7.3s are tough, but they're not indestructible. I mean, you can damage them. You just got to keep up with your normal service and stuff. You know, take care of it, it'll take care of you. I did put new boots. She's got new boots all the way around. And they come stock with those like screw style, kind of like these little band clamps. I ended up replacing them with all T-bolts clamps. They're a lot stronger, hold a lot more. This truck, if I pushed it hard enough, I can probably get 36 psi out of it, maybe even more. This is my boost fuller. I think I paid like, I think it was 50 bucks. It's a direct plug it in, easy to go. If you guys have any questions, you guys don't want me to go in detail about any of this stuff, you just let me know, and I'll do my best to go over it in some detail and let you know exactly what is done. Right down there is where the coolant comes from for the filter. I think that's about it up here. I did have to replace my brake booster, or I guess you could call it the brake booster. My brakes were all locked up. Couldn't figure out why. Replaced all the calipers. These got all new calipers, all new rotors, all new brake pads, and I was still having problems. Ended up being a clog in my thing there, but I got that resolved. I think that's it for up here. I think if anything else, I'll add it. Inside, I got a little carried away with some gauges. Okay, inside. These are GLOWSHIFT gauges. I have, there's boost, and then I got my EGTs, exhaust gas temperature, trans, and then there's my fuel pressure. I had to add in a volts because a lot of stuff I'm running, it's draining my battery, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that. And my temperature gauge for the water temp doesn't work, so I had to add a temperature gauge right here, and ended up doing that one digital. This is my high pressure oil pump, so I can see exactly what pressures I'm reading. And actually these gauges have helped me out a lot with even just diagnosing the vehicle, figuring out if you got boost leaks. EGTs are a big one. I do recommend, if you're gonna only do a couple gauges, at least have your trans temperature and your exhaust gas temperature. Boost is really just for fun to look at, see where you're at, but it has helped me otherwise. I had a boost leak, and I've dropped pressure. I've seen where I've accidentally blown off a boot, you know, and your pressure just drop all the way down. I do have in this now a TS 6-position chip. So that's one, which is stock, high idle, 50, 75, 100, and 140. I usually run it on 100. My shift points with it seem to act right. That's another thing this truck does have, is I do have a built transmission with stage 2 shift kits, and I have the triple disc billet converter, so it's a heavy duty. My weakest link on this truck right now is my rears. It does have 410 rears, but it's the only thing I really haven't touched. Here, I'll go ahead and give it a start up for you. So with the chip, it's actually pretty nice. See, that's high idle, so I can, probably it's hard to hear me. Lets the RPMs warm up a little bit. She's right around 1100 or so, so it stays where it's at. And obviously it's 50, 75, 100. I've only had the chip in here for maybe a week now. No issues. I do say, if you're going to do it, one of these chips, really make sure that you get those terminals clean on your computer. At first I was running this. It's an Sct X4 Flash Programmer. What this does is it goes into your computer itself and reprograms. However, I don't know what the horsepower settings were on this, and I just wasn't getting what I wanted. I wanted more. For you guys that are wanting to roll coal, this definitely isn't going to do it unless you have airflow restrictions. I mean, when your truck's pumping out black smoke, that's telling you that you're not getting enough air in your motor, and it's just dumping fuel right out the exhaust. With my truck, the way I have it set up, I get plenty of air. Even on this TS chip, on 140 I get black smoke, but that's only when I'm kind of romping on it, just kind of cruising here and there. You know, I won't really see anything. I mean, I don't recommend you just kind of cruising around on 140. It's kind of silly, but hey, to each their own. I have done, well, this interior, it's a mess in here right now. I do use this for work. I had to replace all the carpet. The carpet in this was so nasty. I do have WeatherTech floor guards in it. I love those. On eBay, I ended up doing these seats. These are actually seat covers. They're leather, but they are actually pretty nice. I was surprised. The seats underneath are completely ripped up. Like this little spot right here, I mean, that's nothing compared to what these seats underneath look like. Also, this guy who owned this truck, dogs. I mean, there was dog hair everywhere. I completely had to gut this thing. I pulled the vents, dash. I mean, it was just everywhere. I still got to replace the upper thing here, but this is pretty costly in this truck. I did have to replace my cluster. The one before this was cracked and it was all messed up, so I ended up having this is the closest one I could get, and this is 5,000 miles off of what the original one is. The original one had right there 289. That was what the original is, and I got 285 on this one, and I just changed that not long ago. Yeah, they were about 5,000 miles off, and on this truck I typically do my oil changes every 5,000 miles, which is it worked out. So my next oil change is actually going to be on track from their correct miles. On this truck, I'm gonna shut this off, I can't hear. These are 285s. 285, I can't remember, 75 R16s. So those are 16-inch rims. Those rims I already had off of another truck of mine, which is right over there. One that says 4x4 on it. well, if you guys got any questions, let me know, comment, post, shoot me emails, whatever. And if you got any questions, you want me to go into more detail, I will do my best. I'm gonna help talk you through it. YouTube has been a great place for me. I found a lot of stuff out on there, and I help you out. Say it.